Well, it's pretty damn, pretty warm here, I must admit. God, been up to sort of 90-ish.
Curious,
Wow.
did you all get an alert from Zoom saying this meeting is being live streamed?
Yes, I just came up.
Oh, okay, interesting. That's a
Meeting
new
is
one.
now streaming live on custom live streaming service.
Cool.
You did something right.
Ooh.
So what's cooking, everybody?
Fighting talk. Yeah.
Just having my post-test success drink.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh boy. What is that? What are you drinking?
Whiskey with a little Coke.
Oh, okay. Whiskey and Coke, huh?
Whiskey and ginger ale.
Oh, that's good. I like whiskey and ginger ale. Ginger beer is good too.
I call that Orion ginger here. Is that what they call it over there?
What?
Orion ginger. What? Yeah.
No,
Ginger ale and whiskey?
never heard.
He's like, no, that's totally wrong. No, not at all.
Crown
Sounds
Royale and ginger ale. That used to be my go-to for a long
Oh
time.
yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Hello, Joe. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going, Willie?
I'm good, thank yourself.
Excellent. Great. Good seeing some of you guys. We haven't seen some of you for a while. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. I'll admit, I don't really have much of an agenda today. I've been kind of going all over the place the past few days. It's been crazy. Working on everything. Total CMS2, been making progress on that, which is fun.
Hey.
And planning and testing things out with that. It's been interesting. Don't have anything to really show you guys yet. But yeah, we'll definitely show you guys, especially probably on Friday Hangouts will be the people that probably first get to see glimpses of that for those that attend Friday Hangouts.
This Friday is my birthday, Joe. So have something special. Yeah. Well, Saturday.
Not today.
No, not today.
Not today.
But Saturday,
Okay.
if you want to get me something nice for my birthday, a little sneak peek.
CMS2. Way.
Nice. Actually, tomorrow I also have a hangout for Foundation 7, but not on the Rapweaver stack side. It's on the code side. Just kind of meet some of those users and chit chat about what's going to happen there. And that's going to be Foundation 7 is going to be very different in terms of under the hood. The technology behind it's going to be very, very different. It'll be moving all to the latest and greatest stuff. So yeah, I'm excited about that. Yeah.
Is it going to be above the pay grade to go to see that?
Probably not. I mean, it could be fun. I'm not sure, to be honest. It'll be interesting to meet. I don't know what level of users are going to join. Obviously, they're going to be, since they're using the framework, it will be hand coders, right? But I'm not sure that the mix of users that it will be, what type of if they're freelancers, I'm assuming it's probably a mixture of maybe some freelancers, maybe some people that work for corporations. I mean, it's used by 300,000 developers around the world. So, and it's very widely used framework. So it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see how many people join as well. I will be recording it, so if anyone wants to just kind of peruse through the recording later on, you can do that too. I'll post it probably to the community just for fun in case anyone wants to watch it.
Good.
Yep.
What's your involvement with that, Joe? You're the guy that runs it all, like the foundation.
Yeah, I'm the lead guy for it.
Yeah.
now.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I own it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
For a while, we tried to be. They tried to be like 100% open source in terms of, because it is open source software, but tried to be like community driven, right? Where, there are 20, or they try to get hundreds of people's feedback and integrate and get, and that just, I don't see that as being a viable solution for anything. When you have 100 cooks in the kitchen trying to cook a dish, nothing ever gets done, right? you need to have, and some people left the project because I took it over and I didn't really like that philosophy, and I'm like, you need to have somebody at the top making the decisions. Not everything can be a community-based decision. So There were just some decisions that I felt needed to be made, and I made them. And since I was the official owner of it now, I get to do that. But anyway, yeah, you can't have everything be a pure democracy. Never works, right? So yeah,
that's cool. Okay.
So I had a hangout for them last month. I don't mean to talk about this. I just want to talk about something else. We talk about something else, but so last month I had one, but I messed up the Zoom meeting. Remember, Chris? And I ended up no one ever joined because I had messed up the Zoom meeting. And so yeah, hopefully this month people actually join. And
I was like, man, that guy, he invited me and then he rejected me.
Oh well.
He's a jerk, man.
Yep. Hey, so getting back to stack stuff, has anyone played with the new let's see, 2 big 0.9 releases? I'm gonna probably send an email about it today to the rest of the world about Foundation 6.9 and Total CMS 1.9. So last week was the .9 releases. Some cool stuff. It was last week's live stream I did the color stuff, right? Wasn't that last week?
Yeah.
Has anyone played around with it? Like it? Hate it? I saw some people on the community, they didn't think it really worked for them, their workflow. But that's okay. If it doesn't work for you, you can easily not use those features, right? Which is kind of cool. So it's not forced upon you, but the idea of using these custom colors is pretty cool. And then Total CMS 1.9 is we have import ability now. So I just got notice from someone yesterday that they're working on a project that they're going to import, 50 or 60 blog posts using the import utility. So that'll be kind of cool. See how that works out. Because yeah, it can definitely be tedious. I feel bad. I should have had this years ago. I should have built this utility years ago, but yeah, at least now you can now, if you're migrating a client from a WordPress site, which I think this person is, you can export those blog posts to a CSV file in WordPress, and then you can import them into Total CMS now. So with a little bit of price CSV massaging, you have to make sure the headers on the CSV file are specific or whatnot, but it's pretty simple. So yeah, if anyone wants to see any of those things, I can kind of give a quick overview of that import process if anyone's curious.
I wouldn't mind seeing you do it, honestly, because I'm adding it to my project to import the contacts. So
okay, cool. Sweet. Let's get some recording going there. Screen sharing. Blah, blah. Let's get
the screen size right. Very small.
So actually I guess before maybe did I have this? Oh, this is not even the correct project file. Hold on one second. This one. Okay, and this is completely blank, so we'll have to start from scratch. It's fine. So first off, if you go to oops, that's not what I wanted. Man, I am just fat fingers today, typing all the wrong keystrokes. Okay. All right, so you have to know the URL to the import utility. There's no stacks for this. There's nothing that you can add to the page. It's just knowing the URL, okay? And the URL's in the release notes, but it's RDB common, plugins, stacks, total CMS, total import.php, okay? And I will put this in the chat. There we go. All right. So obviously that URL is the URL to my test server. So you replace your domain name, with yours. Okay. Next up, the directions for it are here. Pretty simple. Okay, so here's a link to a sample CSV file. So we can download that. And if we open that, we'll see that this particular one has, it only has 2 blog posts in it, okay? And then we have to make sure the very first row in the CSV file is all the various names of the blog attributes, okay? Now, one thing, this does not import images or galleries, okay? So it's text only at the moment, okay? So, and I know a lot of people use blog not as a blog, right? So you'd have to map whatever you're using the summary field for, put in whatever you're using that for, right? So, you know, so you got to make sure that all these are mapped properly, okay? And as you see, you can have HTML. So I know, like, you know, WordPress, a lot of the blog posts are obviously done in HTML. So in this demo example, I do have HTML in the CSV file, so we can see that as well, okay? It's really small and simple, but this particular one does use HTML just to show you that it's possible, okay? So now that we've created our import.csv file, we need to upload it, okay? And we need to do that with whatever your favorite FTP app is. Okay, so I'm gonna use Transmit. For the live stream out and have a separate video for it. Okay, so we're gonna go to my website. And then we're gonna go into the CMS data folder. Okay, so CMS data is where all your total CMS data is. And all you're gonna do is upload that import file there. Okay, and it needs to be named total import.csv. Do not rename the file. It needs to be named exactly that. You'll see that there's a few others here that have timestamps in them because those are previous imports that I did. Obviously, I was testing. Okay, so after I import the file, I don't delete the file. I just rename it so that in case you wanted to have access to that later on, you can still see it. And that's a Unix timestamp on every file. Okay. Okay, so now that I have that CSV file there, okay, I go back to my import utility, okay, and then I need to give the CMS ID of the blog that I want to import this CSV file into, okay? So we could either choose a completely new CMS ID. So if you're starting a new blog, you can put in a new CMS ID, or you can actually import into an existing blog, okay, which is pretty interesting. So either you can, you know, choose, if we go to the blog folder in CMS data, we'll see that I have a bunch of blogs here. Okay, I can import into an existing one or create a new one. In this case, let's create a new one. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and type, let's call it live stream. Okay, and I'm going to click. So again, this is the CMS ID of the blog that we're importing it into. So once I type that in, I'm going to say import CSV, click the button, and we're done. Okay, so if we go to the server again, let's refresh. You'll see that I have a live stream folder, and there's all the blog posts and sitemaps and RSS feeds automatically generated for the blog posts that I just imported. Pretty cool. Okay, now just to show you that it imports and it works and everything like that, let's go ahead. Let's just minimize that in case I need it again. Completely blank project. Let's see what I have in here. It's completely blank. Okay, so let's go into total CMS. Let's add an admin core to the page, and let's add a admin blog list. Okay, it's just to show you that things are working. I don't need a license for now. We're just listing out. And then the CMS ID, we're gonna have to change that. So that was what, live stream. Oops, live stream. Okay, so I put the CMS ID in my admin blog list of live stream. And when we preview this, we should see 2 blog posts, the blog posts that we just imported. Okay, so obviously, I mean, if you were to set up a form page, like I don't have it set up, you can click on this and it would edit that blog post and all that jazz, right? So just to show you that the data is there, all the categories and tags and stuff that were added. This particular one was set to be a draft. This one was set to be a featured, right? So it's 100% there. Now, later on, if you wanted to, because it doesn't import galleries or images, you would then, you know, set up the form page, click on this, and then you can upload the images after, right? So yeah, it would be great. Maybe eventually we'll have, probably in Total CMS 2, we'll have the ability to import images and text, okay? But at least for now, this will save us hours and hours of copy and paste, which I know some people do, right? So that's pretty awesome. Any questions?
That's great.
It's hopefully it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Okay. I do recommend using this is I don't even know if this app's on the App Store anymore. It's an app just for CSV files. I know like we have numbers in Excel that you can then create a spreadsheet and then export to CSV. I just find dedicated CSV editors to be a little bit better. So this one's called CSV Editor. I got it on the App Store. I'm not sure if it's even on the App Store anymore though. So
I'm looking right now.
Joe, one question.
Yes.
In future, would it be possible to update an existing Total CMS database?
Yes.
CSV.
So for right now, you can, like I said, you can import into an existing blog. And if any of the data that's in this CSV file contains an existing, so if you notice in the CSV file, there's permalinks. If this permalink existed in a blog that you're importing into, the data in the CSV file will overwrite that data. Okay. Now, as of right now, it will overwrite. It'll probably even overwrite images. I'm thinking that's going to be my guess. So I wouldn't recommend that yet. I will add the ability to at least not overwrite images so that you can so you can upload the content. You can upload this, and if it's an existing one, it at least won't overwrite images. As of right now, I believe it will. I haven't tested that. I know it will overwrite the data, and I'm pretty sure it will overwrite images. But yeah, so yes and no. I do think that'll be important. So at least for right now, I'll add the ability to, you know, you can upload the content and then the image content will be updated. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
In fact, let me make sure that I have that as a in my list, because I know I talked about that on Friday, I think, and let me make sure it's there. Yeah, I didn't add it. Bad guy.
Yeah, an update option would be great because then you can work with it and update maybe a price list or product list and don't delete images all the time. So
yes, yep. Yeah, I just added that, so I'll make sure I get that in
the work again and again, and so don't.
Yes, and that is not acceptable. Yep. So yeah, the ability to keep the images, I totally agree. That would be a nice thing to have. I'll definitely add that.
Okay.
Good job, Wolf.
And Joe, is it possible to export the data of an existing blog and import this data in a new blog?
That is not possible right now. But it's not difficult to do manually. If you wanted to move a blog post from one blog to another, okay, it wouldn't be too difficult to do that. Here, let me. I should say, oops, that's not what I wanted. There it is. In Total CMS 2, I already have that. I have the ability to export and import from CSV. I probably won't add exporting ability in the current version, okay? But let me show you how you could potentially do that manually, okay? It's real super easy if you don't have images, okay? Let me show you how to do that. So let's see what's in here. Okay, let's say here I have a blog, and if you notice, all these are permalinks, all these .cms files. If you notice there, it's the permalink, the name of the permalink of the blog post .cms. Okay, so let's say I wanted to move this blog post to the live stream blog. Okay, what you'll do is you just simply take this CMS file, okay, and you go to live stream and you drop it in. Okay. Now, there's a couple other things you might want to do, okay, because now the RSS, the sitemap, and the blog files are all out of date because they don't have this this new blog post, correct? Okay. So what you need to do is these files, if you delete them, they'll just magically get recreated. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So if we just go ahead and delete these, okay. Remember, this is in the live stream folder. Okay. Now, in order for them to get regenerated, you have to ping the CMS. So I'm just going to preview this page. And if you notice there, I now have the live stream now has 3 blog posts. And if we go into here, you'll see that the blog JSON got created. Now the RSS, oh, that's right. The RSS one, it'll get RSS and sitemap get recreated. If I were to edit or add a new blog post via this, then those ones get recreated. So if I were to go and even just add a period somewhere or anything, any edits to any blog post will recreate the RSS and sitemap files. But this blog JSON file will get dynamically created. I forgot about that. Okay. Now images. Okay. If a blog post had an image, okay, what would you need to do? So images in version 1 for blogs they're stored in kind of an odd place. When I originally made it, I thought it made sense. Okay. In retrospect, hindsight's always 2020. Okay. So all the images for a blog post are now stored under gallery blog. Okay. So under gallery blog, there's another set of folders for each blog there. So here we have blog, and then we have a folder for here, how to plan a website. Okay, and if you notice, there's actually images there. Okay, so this is the permalink, how to plan your next website. I'm pretty sure that was the one we did. So all you need to do is take this folder, and then you'd move that into the live stream folder. And that's how you would manually do it. So now at that point, all of the images and all of the blog post content are now moved to that blog. So it's not the most fluid thing, but it's not rocket science to do that. Does that make sense, Stephen?
Very easy. I had no idea it was that simple.
Yeah. Now, yeah. So that's how you can move a blog from one to the next. Okay.
Thank you, Joe.
Probably not something you want to do all the time, but if sometimes if you want to do it, you could probably automate it if you had a little bit of scripting ability. Yeah, and that's going to be actually another thing that I plan on adding in CMS2 is the ability to move. They're called objects in Total CMS2. Move objects between collections. So collections are the term for a blog, I guess you can say, in Total CMS2. So we'll have that ability. Okay. Any other questions?
That's cool.
Joe?
Yeah.
Can you, there is a little gap in the, can you open your browser? Yes. In the foundation newspaper, on the button, there is a gap. Can you fix this?
Fix what?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, the little gap on the bottom?
See this? Yeah.
Yeah, I see that. I haven't even noticed. I have noticed it, but I haven't really looked at it. Let's see what that is. What could be causing that?
Well, one thing, I don't think you want to remove the padding or margin off the bottom there because it'll remove it off the tags there as well on the right-hand side. So I don't know if you can make that feel like that.
I'm not sure what, I'm not exactly sure what's causing that gap.
Hey, Brett, been a while since we heard your voice.
Hey, man. Yeah, lucky you. I mean, not today,
Yeah.
but, until today.
Yeah, my day's complete now. It is my birthday week after all.
Oh, nice. Happy birthday.
Well, thank you.
I hope you protect some time to sing.
Oh, yeah.
It's not readily apparent what's causing that. I'll look into it. I'll see if I can figure it out.
I fix this for a moment, for a little time. I watch. I fix.
Let's see what the height's set to 82. What's causing the height? I don't want to waste everyone's time debugging this, but I'll look into it. Oh, I do have oh, that's the minimum height for the thing. Yeah, that's right. Never mind. If you said you find a temporary fix, maybe that would give me a clue on what you found, and I can look into that. Cool. Next thing, let's see, import, and then we did the color stuff. Does anyone have any questions on the color stuff? Did did anyone not understand some of the new features in Foundation 6.9 with the new color stuff? Has anyone played around with it?
I have.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, I've been pretty vocal about this, but I really dig it. What's nice is it makes it more easy to sort of templatize sites or landing pages and partials. And you can actually, at least kind of what I'm trying to do with it now, or I started doing, but then took a break to work on some other stuff. But is that you can kind of create these like, just basically like, partials. And if you get used to naming everything the same over and over, like using kind of the same nomenclature, you can sort of build a design system. And then every time you build a project, you build that same design system with the color palette, your primary, secondary, whatever. And then you can just change the hex codes and all that. But then you're using the same like terminology for your classes across everything, right? So you can basically have like a single page designed and just replace, just hot swap the colors pretty easily, like throughout. And, additionally, then you just replace the fonts and you're good to go.
Exactly. Did anyone got that? We're going to have a test at the end. Everyone got that? Okay. There's been a couple of questions, actually. Funny enough, it was like 3 in the past week, I think, on, someone wanted to toggle, let's say, a theme with total CMS using Foundation 6 colors. Okay. And so I thought it'd be really fun to kind of just go over a couple scenarios with that. So let's go ahead and, I'm not sharing anymore. Okay, let's see, I don't need that. All right, I'm gonna do a super simple example, okay? I'm gonna do the quote unquote supported way, the way I think you would have to do it without any coding. Okay. Okay. So we'll go that route first. Okay. So let's just go ahead and I'm just going to do a simple thing here. We'll do container and just have some content. We'll add text. Okay. There we go. And actually, I'm going to do 2 containers, and we'll see why. Actually, no, we'll do 1 container really quick. Okay. Let's do 2. I'm going to need them anyway. Okay. And we'll put this one as parent, just so we know. Okay. So let's style the background of this container. Okay. So really simple. We're going to go to general background. Okay. And let's just call this live container. Okay. And we're going to give it a background color of, we'll do red, like, 18% red. Okay. and live container. We need to put that class on there. And there we go. Any questions on that? That's pretty basic, right? It's about as basic as a swatch you can get. I assign a class to live container. It's got a background of red. Whenever I apply that live container class to anything, it will magically get a red background. Okay.
Yep.
Now, let's say in some sections of my pages, I wanted maybe to change live container to be green, or I wanted to give the ability for someone to make live container red or green. Okay. So what we can do here is let's just go ahead and we'll copy this. Okay. And when I have a let's say green theme, okay, as a parent class, okay, I don't want this to be red. I want this to be green. Okay. So here I have live container is red, but then when it has a parent class of green theme, I want it to be green. Okay. So if I go ahead in here and go class and I do green theme, there we go. So now in my parent, I have green theme, right? And if I have multiples of these, and if I take green theme off of this parent, this one's red. Okay. Does that make sense, everybody?
Mhm.
Okay. So now we're affecting the background styles based on adding a class to the parent. Okay. Now, how can we do this with Total CMS? How can we give the ability for our customers or ourselves to toggle between different looks on different parts of the page or an entire page? Right?
We got a scan or something, huh?
So what we can do is this green theme, a class, it's just text, right? That's all it is. It's text inside of a class field in the HTML, right? If we want to preview this, we can preview this page. And again, Total CMS can only interact with what's in the HTML of the page. Okay, so that's very important. And we can see here, make this a little bit bigger for you guys to see. That green theme, it's just some text in the HTML. That's all it is. Okay. Well, we know how to insert text using Total CMS. That's pretty simple. We have things called macros, right? And how can we update that? Okay, so let's go ahead and let's switch our hats to Total CMS here. Let's go ahead and we'll add admin core to the page. Okay, I need a CMS license in here. Okay, now I have admin core. Let's go below this. I'll just add a quick little, let's just build out a quick little thing here. Just for fun, we'll do add container. And then I'm going to add in a select box. So what we're going to do is I'm going to add a Total CMS select box. Okay. And let's give this a CMS ID of theme. Okay. Select your theme. We'll show the save button just for fun. And then our options, we're going to do, let's see, label default red theme. And this default value, the red, since it's the default, we can either add a superfluous class in there or we can just make it blank. Okay. So in this case, I'm just going to make the default blank. It's nothing because that's what we had. When the parent is blank, we have the red theme. Okay. So default theme red, blank. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to change this to green theme. And the value here is green dash theme. Okay. There we go. So now I have my select box that allows a user to switch between two different themes. Okay. And again, I could do red dash theme here if I wanted to. It doesn't matter because why doesn't it matter? Because if I add red theme to this parent, everything is the same, right? Because I have nothing that applies anything to red theme anyway, so it doesn't matter. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have any rules for red theme, so adding a red theme class doesn't do anything. Okay. But if you really wanted to be specific, I guess you could do that. Okay. But here, I'm going to set it to blank. Okay. So let's go ahead and preview this. Okay. And so here I can go ahead and set my theme, save it. Okay. Set it again and save it. Okay. Oh, but one thing I forgot is to take the value of this and inject it in the class. So instead of red theme, we're going to do a %CMS data theme. There we go. So now I have my macro inside the classes. Let's preview. Okay. So that's green theme. Wait, what? Did I not do it right? Let's see. Select box. CMS ID is theme.
Yo, don't you have to have the CMS work stack on the page?
Oh, yeah. I don't have CMS core. Thank you. I was thinking, wait, what's going on here?
Rookie.
What a rookie mistake. Oh, Jesus. Rookie. Man.
Good job, Scott.
There we go.
Ah,
So now we can flip flop between these themes. I don't know, obviously because it's on the same page, I'd have to refresh to see the new one, and there we go. Interesting. When select is blank, it doesn't properly choose the right one. Interesting.
Joe,
So
I'm using a different macro. I'm using the text macro. Does it make any difference?
In this particular case, no. I'll talk about what the difference is between those macros, though. Okay. So let me just refresh this. Let's select the red theme, save. There we go. And then we can now set it to green theme, save, refresh the page, boom. Perfect. Okay. So what's the difference between CMS data and CMS text? So for those that don't know, if you go to the CMS core, there's different macros that we can use. And the first two, okay, there's two that probably get used the most. CMS data, if you see that is raw content, and CMS text is text. Now, what's the difference between that? So what CMS text will do, it is raw data, but what it will do is if you have any new line, so any character returns, so any new lines, those will get converted to BR tags on the page. Okay. So that is the difference. So CMS text will ensure, like if you have a text area that has multiple paragraphs and you just want plain text and you're not using the markdown option, which is CMS text format. Okay. What that will do is that'll add BR tags for you. Okay. But if you just want the raw data content, that's what you'll get. Does that make sense? Here, I can show you an example. Let's do an example. Okay.
I think in this case, it won't make any difference because you use select probably.
Yeah, it doesn't make a difference because the value that's saved here, that saved will never have a character return.
Exactly.
Right. So it doesn't matter. Okay. So I wouldn't go back if you have a ton of projects that use CMS text. I wouldn't go back and do that. Okay. But yeah, let's show an example. Let's go ahead and let's just add a admin text to the page. Okay. And we're going to make it text markdown. I don't need markdown formatting. Let's make the height a little bit bigger, 10 lines or something like that. Okay. And then in here, let's go ahead and use I have two in here. And let's just call this, let's use the CMS ID of my text. Okay. All right, so this first one, let's go ahead and do %CMS data, my text, Okay. And this one, I will use, instead of CMS data, I will use CMS text. Okay. Let's go ahead and preview that. All right. Currently, there's no data in there, which is what I expected. So let's go ahead and save. Multiple paragraphs. All right. Oh, I should have added like some sort of margin. Oops, I don't want a capital M. All right, so here we'll see that we have two examples. Obviously, in the admin area, we added character returns, okay? But since we're pulling in raw data, with HTML, white space is completely ignored, okay? So if you were just doing raw text like in here, a lot of people would expect, I added a new line, but I don't see it up here on the page, okay? Because if we were to look at the HTML for this, all right, you'll see that it's just raw. And actually, if we go ahead and look at the, let's go look at the raw source code of the page. Where is it? There it is. Okay. If we look at the raw source code, there is multiple lines in the source code. Okay, and that's this here, this blob of text. But HTML will ignore any white space. So all of that is just ignored. So that's why in this case here, this lorem, this second paragraph starts directly after that period. Okay. But if we look at the data for CMS text, what it does is it adds these BR tags for every character return. So that's why this section looks like this. Does that make sense? Right?
Yeah.
Now the proper way to do it, okay? The proper way is to actually, put in data like this. If you're going to do something like this, I would recommend using. Let's do one more option. Okay, and let's just be consistent here. Okay. Oops. If I can type, Jesus. Okay. In this one, we're going to use CMS text format. Okay. 3 different macros. All right. Now here, again, this is CMS data. It's the raw data. It's completely unaltered. If you're using HipWig, okay, I recommend using CMS data. Okay. Because that will just, it'll get the data from HipWig, completely unalter it and inject it on the page. Okay. So definitely I recommend if you're using HipWig data, use the CMS data macro. Okay.
It's also great for adding snippets, code snippets, if you need to add code snippets in your page.
Exactly. Again, CMS data is completely unaltered output from what you save. Okay. CMS text adds these BR tags so we can get at least the character returns if we wanted that. Okay. Now this third example, CMS text format, this looks exactly the same as this CMS text, but it's not. Okay, let's see the difference. Okay, so if we look at the source code for this page now, let's go here, our source free. Oh, it is there. Right. Scroll down.
This must be an investigation.
Okay, so this is the output of the CMS text macro. Again, it has the BR tags. Here is the output of the CMS text format macro. Okay, what format does is, if you notice here, it puts each paragraph individually into paragraph tags. This is the real proper way of doing it. Okay, and the reason for that is CMS text format will process this as markdown. Okay, so I can actually type in markdown in here, so I can do like, header. And let's just save that. refresh the page. Okay. So if you here's the made really big difference here. You'll see in CMS text, okay, that header, it didn't process it. It just, again, took the raw data, changed the returns to be BR tags, and that's all we get. But if we use CMS text format, it actually parses it as Markdown and gives us proper HTML. This is this way, even without using this header, a Markdown, because I know a lot of our customers are scared of Markdown. They think it's code, right? But if they just typed out paragraphs, this is Markdown, right? And Markdown will properly interpolate all of these as individual paragraphs on the page, okay? So technically, CMS text format is better because it will process everything as Markdown and put everything on the page as an official paragraph, if that makes any sense.
Yep.
Any questions on that? That was kind of an interesting topic.
That's good.
Just one question, Joe.
Sure.
Because I've been Googling it for ages now. What the bleep does HipWig mean?
That's funny. Okay. So when Total CMS originally shipped, there was no WYSIWYG editor. Okay. And I was against WYSIWYG because I thought it produced potentially very ugly results. You know, and then it gave our customers potentially too much control over various things. Okay. And at the time, there was a very influential user called Hipster Weaver. And he was very, very anti-Markdown. And he kept pressuring me to keep making the style text a WYSIWYG editor. Okay. And because it was his responsibility and he's the one who finally convinced me to add it, I named it after him. So HipWig in terms of WYSIWYG. So I merged Hipster Weaver and WYSIWYG together and we got HipWig. It is not an industry standard term. It's just something I made up to tip the hat to John Hawkins, the Hipster Weaver. So there you go.
Thanks. Man, you solved the puzzle.
Yes. In Total CMS 2, it will be renamed styled text.
And you're telling me that Google didn't know this? Wow.
Nice. You know, I'm surprised more people don't ask that actually. What the heck's a HipWig? And I mean, again, I also use HipWig because WYSIWYG is just really hard to type. You know, because WYSIWYG stands for what you see is what you get. That's what WYSIWYG stands for. And I hated typing that out. So that's why I wanted to give it a name other than WYSIWYG. So that's why I named it HipWig. So there we go. Fun, interesting tidbit there.
Last part was what I get.
Yeah.
I don't know. What I put in to get it out.
Nice. Yeah, in Total CMS 2, it will be called style text.
Ooh.
Good question.
When is it expected?
What?
When is it expected, Total CMS 2?
Oh, I'm not going to give any dates. I'm working on it. It'll be shipped when it's done.
This year, maybe.
Hopefully a beta this year. I really do want to get it will definitely won't be shipped production this year, but I'm hoping for a beta this year. So I'm hoping I'll be able to show something by the end of this year easily. So I do have to say I'm also building Total CMS 2 to work outside of Stacks and RapidWeaver as well. So it will be a standalone product, but it will still work and integrate just exactly like the current version does inside Stacks and RapidWeaver. I'm just trying to expand the scope of the product to get more users.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah,
I see the AirTag has a slash on the end before it closes. Is that correct in HTML5?
The hashtag has a slash. Which hashtag?
Break.
The
the BR. Oh, that
break,
is
yes.
that is a I don't know. It some people put a slash, some people don't. So essentially in HTML, if you don't have an opening and closing tag, you're supposed to put like an image tag. Like an image doesn't have an opening image tag and a closing image tag. It's just an image tag. So technically that requires you have a slash at the end. Now BR tags though, they work with or without it. And so depending on how big of an HTML snob you want to be, you can add it or not add it. It doesn't really matter.
All right.
It doesn't. So sometimes I add it. It depends on how it depends on what side of the bed I woke up on, of whether or not I add it or don't add it. It really doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
I post a block list CSS code, but I can't control it because it's not online at the moment. Maybe you can try it in the chat.
Okay. So you want to increase
One of them must
the
be
line height of something in a blog list. Okay. Oops. Okay. Oh, before I do that, let me continue on. We got off on a tangent. I forgot to show one more example of how we can potentially control colors using Total CMS. Were there any questions on how to control colors using a parent class? Did that seem pretty good?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's another way. Okay. There's always multiple ways to skin a cat, you know. That's a US saying. I know it probably appalls some people from other countries if you've never heard that saying, but
I don't like that, Joe.
Yeah. But, you know, I've learned over the years that there are some American, you know, isms that just don't translate well to other languages sometimes. And I've offended many people sometimes.
It's English as well.
Yeah.
I remember one time I called Tav, you know, Big White Duck. I called him badass, right? And obviously that, you know, it's a term saying he's really good, right? He's badass. And someone took great offense to that because they thought I was ragging on him, but no. Okay. So let's say we wanted to give our we wanted to be crazy and we wanted to give our customers the ability to define whatever color they want. Okay. Make sure your customer is actually a skilled designer before they do that, because they will pick horrible colors. Okay. They will. Okay. Especially orange. They'll definitely pick orange. Okay. And pink.
Hey, look, pal. Look.
I was waiting for Chris. Chris loves orange. So I was just bragging on Chris.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Okay. Let's get back to a simple example here. Okay. So I have a class live container. And like I said, we can apply colors with a swatch using a class. Okay. Let's go ahead and put in just some default content in here now. All right. Now I want to give the customer the ability to control the color himself of the live container, anything that has a live container class. Okay. And to do this, you need to know CSS. Okay. There's no way around it. Okay. And the reason is colors are defined in CSS, but Total CMS doesn't have access to the CSS file. Therefore, we have to define the CSS inside the HTML. Okay. Now, luckily, there is a CSS swatch. Okay. And any CSS swatch, the CSS is on the HTML. So because it's in the HTML, we can actually use macros here. Okay. So, okay. And actually, here, let's just do, this was what, live dash container. Okay. And then we have background color, colon, and then a color. So instead of, again, this purple, this color, it's just text, right? So we know how to control text with total CMS. So we're going to insert a macro in here. So I'm going to do CMS, CMS data, you know, live container color. Okay, so that's my CMS ID, live container color. Okay, there we go. So now, if you see this, I have anything that has the live container class gets a background color of whatever the output of this is. Okay, so now let's just go ahead and we're going to go to total CMS. Now, total CMS does not have a color picker. Okay, that's why, again, why this is a little bit dangerous. Okay, but hey, some of you love to live on the wild side. Okay. So what I can do is I'm going to add a container down here, and then I'm going to add in a admin text box. Okay. Inside the text, we're just going to put in our CMS ID of live container color. I don't want HipWig. You definitely don't want HipWig. You want text editor. You don't want markdown formatting, and you want it to be one line. Okay. So that's it. That's what we want. Okay. Okay. So here we have just a text box. Okay. And okay, so now essentially I'm going to inject text in here, but let's go ahead and let's look at the source code of the page to kind of see what happened already. Because I didn't save any of this, and this is still red. Okay, so what's going on? Because here we have we're setting the default color, which I definitely recommend that you do. Set a default color, and then I'm kind of overriding that with this custom CSS with whatever this macro is. But this is currently blank. Okay, because we haven't saved anything to it yet. So let's go ahead and inspect. Actually, here, where is it? Oh, here it is. So here we see live container background color, and then it's nothing. Can you guys see that? Yeah, let's make it a little bit bigger. Okay. So this is an example of your customer saying, let's say you didn't have a default rule in here, right? Let's say you didn't have a default rule. And the customer's like, the color you set up for me doesn't work, Chris. What the heck? Or you're like, well, dummy, you deleted the color value in here. What do you expect? Right? Okay. Expect conversations like that. Okay. But again, let's just go ahead and we can type in something like red and save. Right. We can refresh. There we go. We got a red background. Okay. Ooh. Obviously, their CSS does have named colors. Obviously, red is very red, right? Or you can use a hex value. So, right, you could just do like, which is that is also the hex color for. Oh, that's great. Sorry, I thought that was a different color. It was F, whatever. So there we go. Or you can also use RGB, right? So you can do like RGB. You can do RGBA as well, right? So if you want to like 0, 0, 0, 0.5. There you go. That's 50% black, right? You can even go crazy and use the new cool HSLA colors if you really wanted to get crazy. I think those are like, I forget all the values for that. Is that going to be valid? Oh, that's not a valid color. I forget the syntax for HSLA off the top of my head. It's a newfangled color palette. Foundation 7 is going to use all HSLA. So it's really cool. So if you want to learn about HSLA, you can look into it. It's a new really, really cool color format. So anyway, there you go, right? You can do, let's do like 240, 50, 20. I have no idea what color that is, but we'll find out. There you go. That's actually not a bad one. There you go. So again, your customer can add in whatever color they want, hex values, color picker values, whatever. But if they get it wrong, let's say if they put in an invalid number here. Wow, I cannot believe that worked, because color should only go up to 255. I did not think that was going to work. Or here, let's do that. They forgot that. Is that going to work? Oh, that doesn't work. Okay. Customer's going to, color's not working. Well, just put in the end parentheses, dummy. There you go. Okay. So yeah, there's risk in doing this, because it relies on your customer putting in the actual code that's running the site. Okay. Now, something that's cool that I've seen people do is, on the admin side, you see this value, but the customer doesn't give any feedback of what that potential color is, right? Because there is no color picker. Okay. So a lot of times what you can do is you can either create like a little, I've seen people create a container that goes all the way around. So, we can actually put the actual class on this container. Maybe put a padding on it. So now that has the container, and the color that this is within is that, right? Or you can have like a little square or an SVG that you then apply the style to as well on the admin page. But it's just a way of kind of seeing or illustrating what the color is that the person picked in the admin area. Okay, which definitely is important, because it doesn't support a color picker. Okay. So yeah, does that make sense to everybody? I know it's definitely a little bit more involved, and there is danger in it, because you have to know CSS, and in order for this to work, you have to give your clients the ability to add in the hex colors or RGB colors themselves. So yeah, there we go. Okay, any more questions on that?
No.
No? Okay, cool. Okay, let's go ahead and let's look at blog. Let's do this blog list thing. Actually, I know, Reinhard, I see you're on.
Yeah.
Did you want to look at that menu problem? Because I know you were doing something
Yes,
similar to what I was
menus,
just doing.
Yeah. For menus, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. The problem is that if you have a one-page navigation, the colors don't work. It doesn't apply the colors. But if you have multiple pages, it works. So I don't know why, and it is on the same page, but I don't know why that is the case.
Okay. Can you send me that project file that you created so that I can have a look at it?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. And
okay.
If you do that now, we can look at it live during the live stream. Okay.
How do I send it to you?
I don't create a zip, just zip it, and I don't know, do you use like Dropbox or Cloudflare? You can either put the link in the chat here, or you can DM it to me on Weaver Space, and I can pick it up that way.
To your email. To your email.
That works for me too. If you want to email it to support@weavers.space, I'll pick it up there.
Okay.
Is he referring to the active page color in navigation?
Can you refer to what?
Is he referring to the active color in navigation?
I'm not sure which. I think it's just the background colors. I'm not sure potentially what it is. If it's it could be the active. Yeah, that could be it.
How do I get out of here now?
All right. Next, let's while he's doing that, let's conquer this question that Marcelo had really quick. All right, let's go ahead and quickly just toss on a blog list really quick. Okay. Hopefully some of my demo data is okay on this server. Put in the summary. Let's just see what that does. Oh, no post found. Okay. Let's do single city a blog.
Was he talking about the admin blog list or the actual blog list?
Actual blog list, I believe. Or are you talking about the
For that
Marcelo?
padding.
You wanted the content blog list or the admin blog list?
The admin.
It's for that padding issue.
Oh, my bad. Okay, I totally got it. Okay, that CSS that you gave me kind of fixed that thing for you. Okay, I thought you had I totally misunderstood that. Let's test that. Let's just see really quick. We did admin blog list.
Then Brett had a solution too. He put in the chat.
Yeah, it's not as good. I use like more CSS and then important tags, so don't use that.
All right, so we did.
Here's my crappy code. Don't use it.
Yeah,
But
that's my
here-
ringing endorsement for my own work. Don't use it. Hey guys, I gotta go.
Oh, see you later.
Bye.
Maybe only a margin 5 p.m. 00 is enough.
Oh, that's nice.
There we go. Yeah, I guess it's just the line height of this title, probably something like that. Cool. Maybe in Foundation 6, the default line height's different than in other themes. So cool. Thanks for that.
No problem.
All right. Thanks for saying that, Chris. I would have went down a completely different rabbit hole because I thought it was a question on something.
I was like, wait.
Thank you.
Something's wrong here.
You seem to like your rabbits, Joe.
Yeah. My squirrels. I'm waiting for. Did you send that file, Reinhard? Oh, did we lose him?
Yeah, I don't see him.
Oh. Okie dokie.
Hmm.
We lost him.
Oh, there he is. There he's just come back.
Oh, there he comes.
Okay, can I ask a quick question?
Yes, please go ahead, Donna.
So I recently have done a website based on found what Davide did and Foundation Box, you know what I mean? But I added extra elements to it. How would I credit that? Do I say it was, I mean, obviously I didn't design it, he designed it, but I added parts that it kind of doesn't completely look like his work. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It doesn't. So would it be like incorrect to just say like, you know, the website's by me, but inspired by Foundation Box? Actually, Chris is probably a good guy to ask too, since, you know.
I don't know. It's kind of an ethical question, I guess. What does everyone here think? Kind of like if you wanted to give attribution, well, you purchased the product, so you know, you don't need to give attribution since it was a purchased product. You know, so I mean, you're not required to do that, but if you wanted to be nice, you could be like inspired by or used theme from Foundation Box or something like that, you know. Yeah, I mean, I don't, again, you're not required since it was a product and there, you know, the licenses that you purchased money for it, so you don't need to give attribution, you know, because you did design the site technically, right? I mean, you bought a product that helped you do what you do, right? So,
No, I guess that's a good point. I didn't think of it like that. I wasn't sure what I was supposed to do, but
yeah, I mean, yeah.
I need constant acknowledgement.
okay. Chris, you're wonderful. Oh, Joe, just to side note really quickly, you were just saying about the about like the different words that, with English and English. Apparently there was an article in today's paper about, because of COVID and so many young children watching Peppa Pig.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That all like the young the toddlers are picking up like strange names that we wouldn't use, like, biscuits instead of cookies,
English.
English, the Queen's English.
Yay!
Back in 2006, I lived in London, and my son was 3 at the time, and we were there for about a year. And for quite a while after we came home, like whenever he wanted to make a sound of a police car, it was Nina, 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 which is not what American, sounds like at all. But it was just, funny that
Oddly enough, now some of the ambulances in New York City use that sound.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, it's a wild kind of throwback. It's you're like, what in the hell is this sound? Because it is awfully a noisy city as it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, sorry. Thank you very much for your
no problem, Donna. Good question.
Go back to the other issue.
Okay, so Reinhard, so here's the page.
Yes.
So
and now the bottom menu that goes to pages, that works with the colors, but the navigation, the one page one doesn't adapt the colors, but it's the same CSS code.
Okay, so
I don't know why
if we look at this one, so if we look at the colors that this is providing, okay.
Yes.
So if we look here, this background menu color, this is the background, and you're adding a border, and this is the CSS that you're using.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I see that you are using this dot backer class. I don't think you need that at all. Okay. You can remove that, like I said, in the thing, because you're not using that class anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you should remove that. Okay.
Yeah.
But so this is getting applied here. Now if we were to look at this on-page navigation one, okay, we look at the styles here. Well, if you look here, that styles aren't getting applied.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So if we look at this, we have menu li is active A, and menu li active A. Okay.
Yeah.
And menu li A is active. So we're applying it to a lot of the active things. Okay.
Yeah.
So if we look here, at least on the on-page navs are done differently. Okay.
Okay.
So like the active class is set to the actual class here. So what you would need is so if we look at this here, let's open up a text code editor here. Okay. And then I think I still yeah, here we go. Okay. So this is the CSS. You're not using this class, so you should remove it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So I know this is just doing a background color of black, or let's make this bigger so you guys can see it. Wow, my machine is sluggish right now. Okay. So if you notice here, we do have menu li A is active. Okay, and if we look at, let's look at this code here. We have is dash active. Okay, which, and if we look here, you can see this particular code. This is where it's getting its colors.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you wanted, you can go ahead and copy this selector here.
Yeah.
Okay, and potentially use those.
I use those for okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, and then so that if you look here, that is using the correct one. So we have A is active. Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, basically what you would need is you would just need to, I mean, it looks like you just need this. I think that will do it. Now, there's another way to do this with menus.
Yeah.
Okay. If you notice here, a lot of the menu colors they're assigned with these variables. Whenever you see the in CSS, if you see these dash menu BG color, menu link color, menu caret color, if you see those are CSS variables. Okay. And we actually see them also on, if you look at this particular button, right, the second one, we'll see that they're getting applied to this menu as well. You're just simply overriding it because you have this bang important. Okay.
Yeah.
So one thing you could do is instead of attempting to set a background color, you can actually change the variable as well, right? So let's say, for example, let's take menu BG color. Okay, this is getting pretty technical CSS here, and this is pretty new CSS as well. So instead of setting the background color, okay, what you could do is you could just say dash menu dash BG dash color colon and then your color. So in your case, you wanted a CMS thing, so you would do CMS data, menu back, you know.
Okay.
That would work. And if you wanted to make sure you always overwrote that color and it was always done that way, you can also add a bang important here as well. Okay. And since you have the bang important, if you wanted to, like, you know, you can even do something like that. But that probably won't affect, I don't know if that'll affect this one either. But I mean, the best thing to do here is just to copy this, because this is the selector. What's kind of cool about DevTools is the order that you see, the order that you see all the rules in, the stuff that's on the top wins. Okay. So in this case, you know, CSS stands for cascading style sheets. Okay. So rules, as I've taught this in a few other you know, hangouts and videos and whatnot, where the order and the specificity of something matters. Okay. So because this particular rule is above this rule, technically it wins. Okay. So that's why if you didn't have your bang importance, this menu would look the colors that are here. Now, because in this particular rule, you set the bang important, these do win. Okay, so bang important is a hack for developers to override something. Now, because this rule though is above, it's on the top, this selector wins this over this selector. Okay, because it's more specific. It you know.
Okay.
I can't explain it better than that. Okay, so this selector is more specific. Now. So in your situation, if you were to copy this selector here, this would ultimately solve your problem as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And just to let you know, this is created by the menu swatch. This is the selector used by the menu swatch. Okay. And if you scroll further down here, we'll see that there are some rules that are crossed out. Okay. Those are crossed out because that rule is overridden by another rule further up. So here we have menu BG color. By default in the theme, it sets the menu BG color to primary.
Yes.
But then it's overridden up here, menu BG color. It's overridden by the menu swatch that you added to the page. Right?
Okay.
Right? And either further down, if we look at some other things like here, menu active, it's even setting a default background color, and then it sets the background to a variable, right? So and there's other things like, you know, the text color. Okay, so you'll see a lot of these rules are overridden by rules further up on the you know, on the scale here. Okay. So hopefully that'll the order that you see things in here is important. It means the stuff that's on the top is what gets applied, and the stuff further down, if we scroll all the way down to the bottom, this stuff, let's see, the stuff down here that says user agent, those are like defaults from the browser. So like you can even see like what the browser is applying, and then what the, you know, the various things. So consolidated.css, that's obviously the theme. So you can see what the theme's applying. And then, you know, further up, we can get stuff into, you know, swatches and whatnot, right? But there's an order, right? So you can see that order here. You can also, if you go over here, if you wanted to look at, let's say, background color, you can see all the various rules and what's overriding what. here as well. And then you can click on it and you can actually go, it'll take you directly to that part of the CSS. Okay. That's a little much. I don't use that too often, but it's useful sometimes. But this tree here is very, very important. Does that help you?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'll check it out. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. Thank you very much.
No problem. Any other questions, guys?
I have a hypothetical question.
Yes.
That's because you always say that we have to make things simpler and easier for ourselves.
I agree.
Sometimes I feel a little stupid. So the hypothetical question is this: say I make a page. Let's call it winter. It's a winter page, and I build it up with all kind of. It's a total CMS question. I build it up with all sorts of macros like winter header, winter section 1, header 1, etc. So I have this beautiful page, and then this customer comes to me and says, well, it's autumn. I want the same page, but then an autumn page. So what I'm doing is I'm more or less copying this page and changing all these macros into autumn header 1, autumn, etc.
Header 2, all in a header 3, header 4. Yep.
So I was thinking,
is there a way to do that faster?
Is there a way to inject?
Yes, and it's been there for 3 or 4 years. So this only applies to macros, I believe. Okay, yeah. And it's a little hidden feature inside CMS Core. You scroll all the way. Let's see, where is it?
Screen?
Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. Thanks. Come on, share. Okay. Where? But you know what? I think I might have removed it because no one. Oh, there it is. Okay. See, it's been a while since I've done it. Okay. So there's this little plus button in CMS Core. Hey, you have to make sure this is checked. It's on by default, right? Process macros. If you click this little plus button, okay, what this will do is you can type in something here and it will prefix every CMS ID that's in a macro.
On that specific page.
On this specific page. Now, unfortunately, what this will do is it'll prefix every macro, right? So you can't be like only these 4 macros. You know, it will do every macro on the page. Okay. So it could potentially, you know, not be what you want. You know, but it is possible, right? So yeah, this will take every macro on the page and add a prefix to it. So like if I had, let's say, for example, just add in a text stack in here. I add in,
you get it?
You know, CMS data, you know, header. Okay. So this is CMS ID header. If I were to, in the CMS core, type in, you know, about, okay, or maybe about dash, okay. What that will do is that would make this one about dash header. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So again, it definitely is. It could be. I could see this potentially being a nice if they could like somehow define the limitations. Not sure how I could potentially do that, but because there are some macros that you might not want to prefix things to. I don't know the solution for that yet, but as of right now, this is what we have.
Can you add a specific character and then search and replace?
Unfortunately, there is no search and replace in RapidWeaver or Stacks.
Yeah, well, you're slack. Yeah. You're slacking.
Exactly.
I would add a text
outside my
below
control.
the field saying this setting might destroy your website.
Kind of like in Insights files where I have this super duper hella advanced setting that you then have to click, and then you have to say yes, I'm sure, and then you have to click yes, I'm hella sure. Yeah. So yeah, I guess do you think that could be a solution for you or no?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to test it out so that the hypothetical question, what if the hypothetical question is not hypothetical anymore?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna try this one. It's
I'll be honest, I don't think many people use that feature. So if you have any feedback on it, I'm happy to brainstorm on how to potentially improve it if you have any ideas. But yeah, play around with it. Let me know.
Will do. Thanks.
No problem. Cool. Anything else, guys? No? Davide, thanks for coming fashionably late.
Sorry, just made it home.
That's because we started talking about him.
Yeah, his ears are ringing. Donna was talking about you.
I was just saying, like, I used one of the products I bought from you to build out a website, and I wanted to know how to credit it. So we had a group debate on it, a group discussion.
Oh wow! What came out of that discussion?
So I think what I had done was that I just said it was designed by me, inspired by you.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I think everyone gets credit. I feel like Oprah.
Can you send me the link of that website? We'll have to see it.
Okay, I'm sure. I'll do it once I have it up online, because right now it's in a temporary hold. So
perfect.
It should be up has to be up by August 1st. So it will be soon. I will do that.
Look, cool. August 2nd is my birthday, so perfect.
Yeah, there you go. So happy birthday early then.
Cheers.
I got some interesting Mac apps. I've been playing around with some Mac apps this week. Let's see. Hey, I finally bought Squash 3. From Real Mac. Yeah, they did a good job on it. I played around with the early alphas, but I haven't played around with it for a while, and it was good. The whole Zen music thing they added is a little odd. You have the ability to like play some like Zen meditation music in the background while you use the app.
Oh, really?
A little odd for an image app, but whatever. Yeah, they're adding image tagging, which is kind of cool. So you can edit the EXIF tags and stuff. That'll be fun because there aren't many good apps to do that right now. And the apps, if they do it right, the apps that I've used to do that are like really clunky and just horrible. So hopefully they'll do it right. And it'll be a decent EXIF because editing those meta tags and images can be a pain in the butt.
Yes.
So yeah, if anyone want to see it, here, let's we can play around with it for a minute.
Well, I had a question concerning the use of images in galleries as well. So I remember that I was posting a comment whether it was possible to use WebP format for images.
Okay. So you're using what gallery stack are you using?
Oh, I think I was using Photo Pro, but the old version.
Okay. So if you don't have my version, you just go to my order.
I have your version. I have your version.
Cool.
Yeah.
So if you want to use WebP, so I did a pretty decent live stream, I think it was a month ago, on WebP images. And I did if you're curious about WebP, definitely watch that. Okay. Unfortunately, as of right now, drag and drop of WebP images into Rapid Weaver doesn't work great because a lot of times those will get converted into PNG or JPEG files, and that's not what we want. Okay. So what you'll have to do is you'll have to in Photo Pro, it does have a batch feature, okay, where you can use either Rapid Weaver's warehouses or it'll look for a folder on your server. Yes. At that point, you can load all the WebP images there. Okay. So yeah, definitely look at.
Is WebP supported by all? Is WebP supported by all browsers? Even all.
It is supported by all browsers now. Yes.
Yeah. Good.
Yes.
Because that was the question, probably.
Yes. WebP is supported by all browsers. Now, Safari was, funny enough, the last one to support it. And I think it was Safari 13. So we're on 14 now. And 15 is coming out by the end of the year. So, that's 2 versions ago. Yeah, you should be, I think you should be good to go with WebP. I think it's a great format.
Yes, because the level of compression is
yes.
Good.
And funny, there's actually even I know we're all just starting to use WebP, but there's even a new format coming out called AVIF, which isn't, I think it's only supported in Chrome at the moment. Okay. But that's supposedly even better than WebP. But I haven't played around with it at all. But just to let you know, probably in a couple years, maybe that will be the new standard. Who knows? But
is there any performance test that you suggest?
No, there's no performance issues at all. It's actually, it's because the files are so small. You're going to see a performance boost because the download, the images are going to be so much faster.
Okay.
Okay. And what's awesome about WebP is it supports transparency. That was the big thing because a lot of times we couldn't use various images because we had to, if we wanted a transparent background, it had to be a PNG, and PNGs are just ginormous. They're huge.
Absolutely.
So if you want images with transparent background, WebP is 1000% the way to go because it has all the compression and it supports transparency. So that's good. With JPEGs, it really is dependent on the images and how dark or how light the image is, how many different colors are used throughout the image, whether or not how much compression you'll see between JPEG and WebP. If you just want a de facto to always using WebP, I think that's okay. There are some cases where a JPEG might save you a kilobyte or something like that, right? But I think defaulting to using WebP on the web is a good thing. And for those of you who are wondering, Total CMS 2 will support WebP and it will support AVIF. So that's cool.
Very cool.
Which is,
like I said, database access, because I mean, I would like to use the Total CMS for creating a self-sustainable website.
I understand.
Doing electronic commerce and all this.
Yeah, all I can say is if you built a site with Total CMS 1 now, I will have a migration tool so you can migrate the data at least. But Total CMS 2 will be a completely different beast. It'll be much more powerful and hopefully easier to use. Hopefully.
Good.
I was going to give a demo of Squash. You guys can kind of see it. So they had this bundle. So you can upgrade, and then they had a bundle that had, I guess, some more effects. So they might eventually come out with like more filter effects or something like that. But anyway, so you can have this kind of this grid view. I think if you added multiple images, I haven't even tried that. I haven't played around with it too much. Oh yeah, so you can apply this to multiple images, or you can go to this little where is it? This image compare tool, and then you can kind of have a before and after, right? So this is the original, this is the after, and it has a nice little thing. It says JPEG. Here, if you notice by default, it will resize the image. Wait, why is this optimized one larger? That is weird. I mean, look at that. This one says 480 by 266, and this says 2000 by 1100. Interesting. You can resize the image. Interesting. Wonder why I did that. I think that's a bug. Because here, let's just see what the original actual image is. It is 2000 pixels wide. So yeah, that's definitely a bug. Anyway, so you can resize it. You can let's see, what adjustments do we have? We can add various sepia tone filters and all kinds of jazz like that. You can have some effects. This has some of those filter effect packages. So I think by default it has like 3 or 4 different. And it has borders as well. I didn't click effects. I thought I clicked effects. So these are kind of like Instagram style filters. The borders actually, it doesn't come with any borders out of the box. Those are part of that add-on pack thing that they have. Well, I'm not sure how many people are going to be adding effects and borders and whatnot with this sort of tool. I don't know. Watermark, that's definitely interesting. So you can add your own watermark and stuff. Hopefully, maybe eventually they'll give you the ability to have a watermarked image. Could be nice, right? But right now it's just text. You can define what font you want to use. So like if you want a particular font, and apply that watermark. You can adjust the size. You do different. So you can do like, what's diagonal do? Oh, it does like diagonal all the way across. Interesting. And opacity as well. Nice. I like that. This is definitely useful. There aren't, great watermark tools are hard to find. So this is kind of a nice one. And then here's probably what we're going to be using a lot of. So compression, they have JPEG, they have WebP and AVIF. So it already supports both of the latest kind of web standard images formats. Okay. TIFF, don't use TIFFs for online. Never, ever use a TIFF. Okay. You can scratch the metadata. A lot of times people, when you upload, you don't want, GPS data and all that jazz for Facebook and all that crap. Sometimes you don't want, that particular information in your images. Sometimes you do though. You can rename the file and set your export stuff. It does do presets as well. I haven't played around with those. So you can like save this particular thing as like a preset. Assign preset. Oh, here you can add preset. All right, so let's do like live stream. Let's save. Okay, interesting. So now, whenever I click on, let's see if I go here. Let's keep that though. And then I guess you can apply that live stream. Okay. So if I were to accidentally turn on stuff and be like, no, I want to go back to my live stream preset. There it goes. Oh, that's kind of cool. So you can set up some preset, things. And then just apply that to an image on the fly. And then if you dragged in multiple images, you can then export all the images at once. Cool. I like it. I think this is the most I've played with the final version, so it's interesting. What do you guys think?
And don't forget about the music.
Here, let me show you the music. Okay, here's the music. Here, I'll put my mic next to the speakers. Do you feel zen?
Barely hear it.
Oh, you can barely hear it? Let me try a different one.
Crank the zen way up.
It's very bassy. Do you hear it?
No.
Interesting. It's any sort. It's kind of like just the ones that you get from like a meditation app. It's just bassy and just like woo. Whatever.
How'd that go again? I didn't quite catch that.
It's an interesting feature. You can use it to go to sleep at night, compressing some pictures and
there you
go.
Sleep. Exactly. See, what other apps did I get recently? Let's see.
Select all those photos from that WordPress site you're converting and just go to bed.
I started playing with this craft app. It's kind of like Notion, but a Mac app. I don't know. I haven't really done much with it. It's kind of like just a notes app. This is interesting. This is just a media player. Let's add in a so it's just like a replacement for QuickTime. And I just thought I kind of liked some of the controls that it had. Another feature that I like, if you have to install like a terminal command, but if you do, you can actually open a YouTube video in it, and then you can play a YouTube video like in this player that is just free on your machine. Kind of cool. It was free, open source software. That was interesting. This was, I haven't even played around. I forgot about this one. I should have played around with it today during the live stream. So Cursor Pro has the ability to, hopefully you guys can see it. Do you see my mouse now? It has like a green ring around it.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then if you click, it changes the ring. And if you right click, it does a different ring. to just kind of show you, what you're clicking or kind of activating the mouse a little bit. I don't know. I thought it was I got it in like a little pack. What other settings does it have? So you can change the color, you make the cursor circle or square. And the magnifier. Yeah, it does magnify too. So if I hold down the option key, that's right. So hold on option key. It'll like magnify something. So maybe if if I'm in Rapid Weaver and I want to show an option, I can kind of see that's what I set there, right? Something like that. Set S, or if I go into here, type in this class sort of
That's
thing.
good for me, Joe.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that one. I'll try to remember to use that one during live streams. And then another one from the same company. This one had a problem. It wasn't enabling the keyboard access. Now, let me see if I can get this working. What? Input monitoring. So it's interesting. Normally the app like automatically shows up in this list. I have to actually add it, but then it never seems to work. That was keystroke. Weird. Oh, I don't have it sorted alphabetically. There. Open. Now if I enable it. I don't know. I'll have to email them. But essentially what it hopefully would do is whenever you type in a keyboard shortcut, it would show you this on the screen. So you guys can see what keyboard shortcuts I'm using, stuff like that. Thought that would be interesting. But I don't know. Can't get it to work. So let's see. What else did I do? This mouse is kind of annoying me now.
Well, now I don't know where you're clicking.
Okay, so this one's interesting. So let's say this doesn't happen to me too often, but sometimes let's say I have multiple Finder windows open, right? Okay. And a lot of times if you click on the header of one, by default in Mac OS, only one window comes up. Well, let's say I wanted all Finder windows to come up when I clicked on one. If I hold down the Shift key and I click on it, all Finder windows come up. So yeah, that's called front and center. I thought it was kind of interesting. By default, actually, it is the opposite. So whenever by default, if you click on any window, it'll bring forward everything. And then I switched it so that only happens if I hold down the Shift key and then click the title window. I don't know. We'll see how if I like it, or if I even forget that it's even there. And let's see. Last one is a home control. I haven't even played around with this one yet, but it adds HomeKit stuff to your Mac menu bar so I don't have to open up the Home app.
Oh, that's nice.
So yeah, there you go. And then ScreenFlow 10 got released as well. So I haven't even played around with that yet, but ScreenFlow 10 got released. So screen recording app. It's a good one. Cool. Anything else, guys? Oh, Josh showed up, man. Even more fashionably late.
Oh, very sorry. I was on another call. It happens. How's it going, man?
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Did we figure out that menu issue?
Yes. Nice. Yeah. It was CSS selector was slightly off.
What I thought.
Yep. Cool. Well, guys,
We also figured out the drill down in the lightbox thing. That works.
oh yeah, I was going to show that. Here, yeah, some people might want to know that. That could be interesting. And if anyone gets to the 2-hour mark on their the replay of this, here's the project file. Okay, so what Davide wanted is he wanted to have a drill down menu inside of a lightbox. Okay, so here we have a menu button, and when you open up, there should be a drill down menu in here, but it's not showing up. Why? Okay. So there's one small little hack that you'd have to do. You have to target the class is drill down. Okay. Here. That's nasal. Right. So you have to target the class is drill down, Jeff. See, you can read that one now,
yeah,
Jeff.
I can see that. Yeah, thank you.
Nice. Is drill down. Okay. And you do a height swatch. You set it to percent 100%. Okay. And then on the width swatch, instead of targeting width, you actually target max width. And you set the max width to be 100%. There we go. So we set the max width to be 100%. Then when we preview and we click, we have our menu. Okay. Obviously it looks better on mobile, right? But yeah. And that link doesn't work. There we go.
Mystery solved.
Mystery solved.
So what was the issue? The menu was trying to go as wide as possible up to infinity. What was that?
Drill down is very JavaScript dependent, right? So because it has to dynamically build these layers of menus, right? So on page load, when it creates the drill down, it's in a lightbox, and its width and height are effectively 0. So when it built the container, it set the height to 0, and it set the height to the maximum width to 0. So so basically we just have to forcibly set that to be height 100% and then max width 100% so that it fills that lightbox. Does that make sense?
100%.
You don't need to make the height 100%. Like if you knew it was only you, if maybe you only wanted it, right in the middle, you could set it to 50% or something like that, right? So that would work. You don't need to have width height, set to 100%, but that definitely does work to fill the light box.
Yep.
So yeah. Sweet. Cool. Anything else, guys?
No.
Cool.
Thank you.
Excellent. I went a lot longer than we did some cool stuff today, actually.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was some interesting stuff.
I was here for every moment of it.
in spirit.
Yeah.
And you thought
when are you gonna start popping back in on Fridays, man?
Hopefully soon. I have a thing that's scheduled right at the same time, so I'm going to be making changes to that.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So hopefully be back in.
I just thought your wife didn't allow you to talk to me about hats anymore or something. Yeah.
No, because
I figured it was me.
Across the country, the time zone difference now, right? It's later in the day, and Friday night's date night.
Oh.
So essentially, I'm telling my wife that we're moving date.
Hey, that's what we did. Man. We moved it to Saturday
Like,
just because of the
I'm
Friday thing.
I'm gonna have to move it Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
It's like, sweetie, we have a scheduling conflict. You can be moved.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta go.
Oh.
And then Josh never showed up to the events ever again. The man, the legend.
Bye, Josh. Nice meeting you.
Yeah.
Nice seeing you guys.
Cool. All right, guys. I guess we'll call it a day. Thanks for coming. Hopefully, we'll see some of you on Friday. We'll do this again.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.